We're going to graph this rational function. I invite the viewer to pause the video and work ahead as far as you can, then go ahead to see if you get it right. We're going to use these features here on the right to graph the function. Now, first of all, we're going to look for y-intercept, and for y-intercept we plug in 0. So if we plug in 0 and replacing x with 0, we're going to get negative 6 over 3, which equals negative 2. So that's going to be, our y-intercept is going to be the coordinate pair 0, comma, negative 2. Now, as far as zeros and x-intercepts, we set our numerator equal to 0. We put x minus 6 equal to 0, so therefore x is equal to 6. So that's going to be our coordinate pair 6, comma 0. A horizontal asymptote. A horizontal asymptote we find if we take the limit as x approaches, in this case we can go to positive or negative infinity of f of x. That is going to be 0. And why is that? Because with this x minus 6 over x squared minus 4x plus 3, as the x values get larger and larger, this expression here in value becomes closer and closer to 0. And so we're going to say y equals 0 is our horizontal asymptote. Now for vertical asymptote, we're going to take our denominator and set it equal to 0. So we take x squared minus 4x plus 3 and set that equal to 0. If we can factor this quadratic trinomial, we will get in factoring x, and we have negative 4x and positive 3, so we're going to have a negative times a negative. That's going to be negative 3 times negative 1. And so using the zero factor property, we have x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 1. And if we rewrite this expression down here, our function is the denominator in factored form, which is, again, quantity x minus 3 times quantity x minus 1. Do we have any cancellations here? Do we have the same thing that we can cross out from x minus 6 in the numerator? No. And that means that these things right here, x equals 3, x equals 1, these are the vertical asymptotes. So I'm put here x equals 1, x equals 3. And lastly, the sign chart to see where the value of the function is positive or negative. And to do that, we're going to stack the numerator and denominator sign charts on top of each other. So first we're going to put x minus 6, and for x minus 6, our critical number is going to be at 6, where the value of the function is 0. And if we go to a number greater than 6, say 7, we're going to have a positive value. A number less than 6 is going to be negative. And then the next sign chart we're going to stack right below, which is going to be quantity x minus 3 times quantity x minus 1. And for this expression in the denominator, our critical numbers are going to be 1 and 3. So I'm going to put 1 and 3 right here. And plugging a number less than 1, say 0, we're going to have negative times a negative, or positive. A number between 1 and 3, we're going to have a negative, say 2. We're going to have a negative times a positive, which would be negative. And then greater than 3, we're going to have positive times positive. And then I'm going to put this right here. And then right below, we're going to have and we have 0 x equals 1, 0 there. And below, we're going to put what we call a master number line of the whole thing. We have the numerator divided by the denominator. So for less than 1, we have negative divided by positive, which is negative. At 1, what we have is negative divided by 0, which is undefined. That's going to be one of our vertical asymptotes. Between 1 and 3, we have negative divided by negative, which is positive. At 3, we have negative divided by 0, which is undefined. Between 3 and 6, we have negative divided by positive, which is negative. At 6, we have 0 divided by 6, which is 0. Let me put these numbers here, 3, 6. And greater than 6, we have positive divided by positive, which is positive. So now let's go ahead and sketch in our graph. We have everything we need, all the intervals. And so we're going to put our y-intercept down here. There it is. We're going to have our x-intercept right here at 6, 0. So that's going to be 6, 0. We're going to have our horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So I'm just drawing this out here. And it's going to be y is equal to 0. Our vertical asymptotes, x equals 1. So x is equal to 1. And x is equal to 3. And we've used our sign chart to figure out what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead, red here. And what we have is, we have our, coming from the left, we have our horizontal asymptote, and we're going to go, and we're going to pick up this y-intercept, and then come down here like this. So that's what that's going to look like to the left of 1. Between 1 and 3, we have positive, so we're going to look something like this. That's that piece there. And greater than 3, we have negative between 3 and 6. So we have negative all the way to x equals 6. And then we're positive, but then we have our horizontal asymptote. So we're going to come down here toward the x-axis. So that's going to be it. So that's it. That's our graph. I hope this has been helpful to you. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.